Good evening. I'm Berks County Commissioner Christian Leinbach, and I want to welcome you to a special edition of the Commissioners meeting. The Commissioners are on the road at Sinking Spring Borough. It's March the 23rd, and we are broadcasting live via Microsoft Teams live event, also on BCTV, as well as Facebook and YouTube Live. At this time, we'd like to open the meeting with a moment of silence, followed by a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We appreciate Sinking Spring Borough hosting us this evening, and we have a couple representatives here from the borough to present this evening. And we'll begin with Tracy Peterson. She's Borough Council President, and she's going to step up to the podium to give a welcome from Sinking Spring Borough. Tracy.
Thank you, everyone. We're happy to have you here to host this evening. It's nice to have people come and see, especially since no one comes to our meetings. So we sit here quiet. So it's fun to have everyone here to our little borough. Wish we had more parking for you, since I recognize it was difficult to park this evening. But we're excited to be a part of this and to see a little bit of what's going on, and for you to actually be able to look around and see some of the things that we're working on. I'm sure many of you know, and Lisa's going to go into a little bit more detail, but we have a lot of things that we're working on in our small little borough. We just have over like 4,000 people, but there's a lot of stuff in the works here that a lot of us are working. We have been working on it for years, and so we're just excited to have you here, learn a little bit about more your meeting, what you do, and maybe you can learn a little bit about what we do. So I'm going to turn it over to Lisa. She's going to talk about our projects.
Thank you very much, Tracy. And we'll hear now from Councilperson Lisa Gantner.
Good evening and welcome. Welcome to Sinking Spring. My name is Lisa Gantner. I've been the chair of the borough's recreation board since 2010, and I'm a member of council since 2013. As you're aware, we're in the midst of navigating our downtown revitalization projects to realign our two major intersections so that we can gain a viable area for outside development. We're hopefully made our way through the obstacles for the Columbia and Cacousing. As Mike, we're all hopeful that we've got everything, and that will be worked on and finished by the fall. And we're currently working with PennDOT in the pre-engineering to try to figure out how to come to an agreement that works for both of us, as far as what they want to do for 724 and 422, and what we think will help our revitalization the most. But I'd like to make you aware of another ambitious project that we've started to work on here. The plan has emerged as a necessity because our playground program has gotten very popular. Last year we had 412 kids registered for our 9-week program, and we employed 18 young adults that their ages were from 16 to 22. So we are also giving them something to do within our community with the children. We partner with the Wilson School District to offer Bulldog Blast, which is a summer reading and writing program within our summer program. But the other thing that's happened is we've acquired 6 additional acres of land. One is a private parcel that was about 3 acres that we used some capital reserves, things that we've been saving. to purchase, and then also the other property is the Historical Society property. The borough will now take care of that and keep it up and try to support it. So we're in the final steps of the creation of a master plan to enhance that playground. We've gathered community input through citizen surveys, public meetings, and the new plan will incorporate those 6 acres of land to our existing 3 acres. We'll be able to offer more recreation opportunities to more groups of people. Our first phase is to create an updated ADA accessible pavilion, bathrooms, and kitchen facilities. Right now, you would go to our bathrooms, they're usable and they're clean, but they're very, very old and they're subject to backups and everything. And as we try to incorporate the historical properties, right now we even do the Bulldog Blast program in our bigger building in the historical. Last year we started using it, so we had something outside, but all the kids are in that historical building, so they're getting to see some of the things that we've saved in that building. So that's good. So we're in the process to feverishly finish a grant that's due on April 5th. We're working with a company that's helping us do that. And then another phase, we'll have to phase it all because it's a very ambitious project and that's all very expensive. And then the historical part is probably going to be its own separate grant because we think there are grants out there for that specific type of renovation and support. So I'm personally very excited. That's something that our rec board has kind of dreamed of doing and we want to do before we're done with our tenure in Sinking Spring. But I think it really complements our downtown goals and our village greens, that development. This would be a great space for all of us to be able to use it because Sinking Spring is Sinking Spring, but most people live outside of Sinking Spring and we all think we live in the same spot and people use that playground and would use it more if it was updated. So any guidance or support to make this project happen and become a reality, we all would appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy and Lisa. Lisa, I have to tell you, when people don't show up at your meetings, that's a good thing. That means they're happy. And I'll tell you, I find that much more true at the municipal level. One of the reasons that we do this is the old saying, we say this at the National Association of Counties, if you've seen one county, you've seen one county. You can say that about municipalities in Berks County. If you've seen one municipality in Berks County, you've seen one municipality. Every municipality has some similar challenges, but they also have unique aspects to their municipality. I worked here for 11 years, right over, I think it's Coinas Church now, but it was West Lawn Graphic. I ran the ad agency portion. I was there from 96 till the end of 2007. And you're right, I live up in the Hamburg area and traveled here every day. So you have all types of people, and then you have 422. So you have people that might stop here if there's a reason for them to stop, but they're going from another place to another place. So you have a great community here and been watching closely. I think it was Boss 2020. It's now Boss Forward. You'll get there. It's something that is necessary. That is one of the, if not the wildest intersection in Berks County. I'd like to know which one is more complex than that. It's definitely a challenging intersection. Any comments, Commissioner?
Yeah, so good evening. Thank you, Tracy and Lisa, for being here, the rest of the council members as well. We're really grateful to be here tonight and be able to spend some time here with you, learn about the great projects that you have going on here. About maybe 6 or 8 months ago, I did have the opportunity to come in and sit here with PennDOT and part of the team from RATS, and RATS is the Reading Area Transportation Study. When we were talking about BOSS, and I guess there was a little discrepancy between what the borough wanted and what PennDOT wanted. From what I understand, that has been worked out and things are moving forward now. So I'm happy to see that. That was able to be worked out. So hopefully everything will keep on moving forward smoothly here. And yes, and hopefully that intersection will be able to get complete. I was telling Mike back there that about a week or two ago, I was talking with Mike Reber from PennDOT, and he was saying that he was driving through this area and his wife was driving. And she even made the comment and said, wow, this is a really crazy intersection here. I've never seen anything like it. So we're glad that project is moving forward. But thank you for opening your doors for us tonight here and allowing us to have our meeting.
So thank you very much. We will continue with our meeting. Are there any additions or corrections for the March 16th Commissioner meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. We did have an executive session on March the 22nd dealing with personnel, real estate, litigation, and contract negotiations. Before I have Barbara Lopez read the public comment policy, I do want to note if you want to comment, it will be at the end of the meeting, and you haven't signed up, there is a sign-up sheet right here on the corner. And if you want to speak, sign up. And Barbara, if you would read the public comment policy.
Public comment will be accepted in person and through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality for all comments. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by limitations of the platform being used, Teams Q&A, Facebook, and YouTube. In-person comments will be accepted first, followed by comments submitted virtually. The meeting comment period is limited to a total of 30 minutes, including both in-person and virtual comments. This time period may be extended at the discretion of the board. Please be concise. Comments that are germane to county business will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. The county solicitor shall be the final arbiter of whether a comment is germane and should be read. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you very much, Barbara. And Barbara is the executive assistant to Commissioner Michael Rivera. There is no public comment on agenda items in person, none online. So we will move into the agenda. Number one, authorizing under that Budget Department. Adopt a resolution authorizing 2022 transfers in the amount of $56,698 and appropriations in the amount of $180,582 and 2023 transfers in the amount of $54,659 and 2023 appropriations in the amount of $834,310 per listing dated March the 17th of 2023. There are two items listed under Human Resources. Item 1, authorize the promotion of Daisy Holston from Probation Officer 3 to Assistant Chief Juvenile Probation, and that is in the Adult Probation Office, Adult and Juvenile Probation Office. Item 2, authorize the promotion of Mitchell Wood from Office Support 3 in the Area Agency on Aging to Archivist in Archives, and that's effective immediately. There are several items listed under the Commissioners. Item A, adopt a resolution authorizing Brian Gottschall, Director of Emergency Services, to electronically execute the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania State Fiscal Year 2023-2024 Radiation Emergency Response Fund Grant Application. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency Subgrant Award Notification for Victims of Crime Act and Victims of Juvenile Offenders funding for the Berks County Juvenile Probation Office's Victim Witness Assistant Unit for a 2-year period in the amount of $214,362, commencing on January 1st of 2023 and ending on December 31st of 2024. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the 2022 Court Interpreter Services Grant from the Administrative Offices of Pennsylvania Courts in the reimbursement request amount of $503,050.26 to provide on-site in-person courtroom interpreting services at the Court of Common Pleas and Magisterial District Judge level. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing the submission of an application by the Council on Chemical Abuse and Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities per the passing of House Bill 2020 Act 101, requiring the creation of the county, and this is not we didn't name it this, for the record, of the county death review team to investigate and review suicide and overdose deaths, and to create an additional standard for approval by the state as a private or public treatment and rehabilitation, prohibiting the denial of addiction treatment solely due to a negative result on a drug test. Item E, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the amendment of the Mount Penn Preserve Partnership Council of Government agreement by modifying Article 3, Part L, eligibility and membership, by allowing the 5 governing bodies to appoint a representative to serve on the MP3 COG board and replacing the phrase executive committee with the term board. I'm going to defer to Commissioner, I did it again, Kevin Barnhart, who's been very instrumental in starting the Mount Penn Preserve, but he can explain exactly why this change is being made. It relates to him.
Sure. Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. When we first started the Mount Penn Preserve Council of Governments about 7 years ago, it was specific as to an elected official from those member municipalities in the county, as well as a township or borough official. And since there has been some change in leadership and some change in direction, we're asking for the modification for the county to permit me to continue to serve in my role as Chief Operations Officer, not as Commissioner.
Right. And the reason I supported this, I think it's less important, it's an elected official, and it's more important, it's a person that's dedicated to the cause. And from the county side, there's no one that knows more about and has done more for the Mount Penn Preserve than former Commissioner Kevin Barnhart and current Chief Operations Officer of the county.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Item F, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute an agreement between the County of Berks and the Berks County Industrial Development Authority to guarantee repayment to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program of any ineligible expenditures made by the Reading Housing Authority in Reading out of the funds provided by RCAP grant in the amount of $1 million from the Commonwealth's RCAP funds to the Berks IDA on behalf of the Reading Housing Authority for the renovation of 2 Oakbrook Home Center existing buildings in the event neither the Berks IDA nor the Reading Housing Authority has sufficient funds to reimburse such ineligible expenses. There's 2 of these, and I just will explain. We looked at this several years ago, and to date, and this is over decades of RCAP programs, there's never been a case where the IDA or the other one that does this is the RDA has had to execute this. There are numerous safeguards built in place that stop it from getting to this point, but whenever a county authority takes on the role of administering an RCAP grant, the county has to, by law, back it up. So that's why we're doing this. Yes.
And just add to that, the money from the RCAP isn't even paid until the project is completed and verified by the state that it meets all the guidelines. So the chances of anything happening are slim to none.
Very good point. Thank you, Commissioner. PMG, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute an agreement between the County of Berks and the Berks County Industrial Development Authority to guarantee repayment to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program of any ineligible expenditures made by Rodale Institute in Reading, Pennsylvania, out of the funds provided by RCAP grant in the amount of $4 million from the Commonwealth's RCAP funds to the Berks IDA on behalf of Rodale Institute for the construction of a science center facility. In the event neither Berks IDA nor Rodell Institute has sufficient funds to reimburse such ineligible expenses. And item H, adopt a resolution authorizing the Chief Operations Officer, or in his absence, the Deputy Chief Operations Officer, to execute any and all confidentiality and non-disclosure agreements issued by the County of Berks. Item 2, a motion to authorize execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the contract agenda listing dated March the 20th of 2023. There are a total of 10 contracts. There's one with the Area Agency on Aging. There's one jointly with Children and Youth Services and Juvenile Probation, one with Facilities and Operations, one with the jail, one with Juvenile Probation, 4 with Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities, and 1 with the Register of Wills. Item 3, a motion to authorize execution of the payments and electronic transfers as set forth on the Controller's Office voucher listing dated March the 23rd of 2023. And item 4, a motion to authorize execution of employee payroll disbursements dated March the 28th of 2023.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I will second that motion. The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion is carried. With that, we'll go to reports of our treasurer and controller. Our treasurer is not available this evening, so I will read the report. The general account balance is $202,749,280.42. There's a balance to clear of $4,090,232.61. That leaves a total balance of $659,047.81. And we'll move now to our county controller, Sandy Graffius, with the controller's report.
Total accounts payable, $8,259,591.13. We had a supplemental payroll of $7,241.64. We had, as you mentioned, a regular payroll of $4,817,871.91 for a grand total of $13,084,704.70. The end.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sandy. And now, since we're on the road, I'm going to take the chair's prerogative and start by recognizing our senior Chief Operations Officer. For those of you that don't know, Ron Seaman has 18 or 19 days left to retirement. 18 days left to retirement. Who's counting? He can tell you how he counts. How do you know how many days are left to retirement?
I selected the date of April the 11th as my last day, not knowing that was the opening night of the Reading Fighting Skulls. So every morning as I pass the stadium, I look at their board and it says 18 more days to opening night or 17 more days to opening night. So they keep count for me.
It works.
It works.
So do you have anything you would like to share? We'll defer to you.
All right.
This is the last on the road meeting you'll be involved in.
Yeah, actually, I have only more commissioners meetings, so.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
How many years with the county? I know you had some in between.
30 and a quarter. And I was a neighbor, township manager in South Heidelberg. Worked with your manager, Mike, many times on occasions for 13 years. So that's 43 and a quarter years in government, which I'm fond to say is about 40 more than anybody ever should be in government. So.
No, I don't agree with that. You've been a godsend for us at the county. It was one of the best decisions I was involved in. So thank you.
Thank you. Just as a side note, talking about the ambitious projects you're undertaking here in the borough, when I was in college at Penn State, I had the opportunity to work for an excavating and grading contractor in northern Berks County over the summer term. And hate to say it, but 51 years ago, which preceded the requirements for commercial driver's licensing and some other training that you now have to operate large rigs. At the tender age of 19, I got to commandeer a 30-foot gradle, and we had a project at the Western Berks Water Authority. And so I was able to maneuver this gradle up 724 and make the turn to head back to 183 to a project that we were working on. And I got around part of the bend. I did what every large rig driver does, just sat there and made all the cars move out of my way so I could continue on.
They still do that today.
Anyhow, what I have tonight is I like to promote the county's parks department. We have some of the finest park facilities of any county in the Commonwealth. And after an absence of intensive programming, they are back in the planning stages of doing more programming of events. And in conjunction with that, they have produced the spring 2023 guide to different activities that are occurring over the next several months, and then a master listing of events that runs down through August the 26th. These are available now. If you can't find one, I would urge you to contact the Parks and Recreation Department. They can direct you to them or see that you obtain one. It lists a lot of good and interesting upcoming programs. I know one that I'm particularly looking forward to is, once again, the Civil War encampment over at Berks County Heritage Center and Women in the Civil War coming up in early May. If you need information, you can check the Berks County webpage at www.countyofberks.com and get the contact information for the Parks Department. Unfortunately, they don't have any current programming. The last one close to this evening was March 15th, when they held a Build a Bluebird box at the Heritage Center, and the next one on the schedule is on Tuesday, April the 18th. There's a Read with a Ranger Earth Day program at 10 a.m. at the Binghamton House. But again, a lot of good programs to look forward to and get out and enjoy our Parks Department. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ron. And now to our Chief Operations Officer, Kevin Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. And again, I want to thank Sinking Spring Borough for your hospitality and your presentation today. And best wishes on your projects going forward, Boss Forward, and everything else taking place here. I traverse many times a week through your borough. It's a 4-minute drive for me from South Heidelberg Township. Love Paparone's Pizza. And kind of walking down memory lane, you know, there's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. There's 1 degree of Berks County. Hoff and I grew up together in the city of Reading. Mike Hart and I worked together in the borough of West Reading, and as well as Sam Loth. He was our first Main Street manager in the borough of West Reading. So there's a lot of commonality and closeness here in the borough of Sinking Spring. So best of luck and best wishes for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, we will move to comments from commissioners. And I do want to note, Commissioner Sahelnick had a conflict, I think even before she was appointed. So we knew she wasn't able to be here tonight. And I say this sincerely, I'm sure you're disappointed. A lot of people have enjoyed meeting her. And I, for one, will tell you she's been a great addition to the Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Michael Rivera.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. Again, I want to thank Sinking Spring Borough for hosting us tonight. Also, thank you to their leadership and elected officials as well. Just last week, the Center for Excellence in Local Government held the Municipal Officials Dinner, in which we recognized and celebrated the municipal elected officials for the work they do day in and day out for our local government. So thank you for the work that you do. On this past Tuesday, March 21st, was National Agriculture Day. As you know, Berks County is full of opportunities for residents to learn about, enjoy, and obtain careers in agriculture. We have a very strong ag community here in Berks County. And to celebrate this, the Berks Agricultural Resource Network made 2 informational videos. One is a 1-minute video, the other is a 5-minute video. And we have on the screen the 1-minute video. So I'm going to ask Heather if she can play that for us and make sure the volume is on.
National Ag Day is a time to celebrate the contributions of all the people who are involved in agriculture. Farming is a huge part of the local economy, and every year, over $500 million worth of commodities are produced just in Berks County alone. But farming today is changing. This is rapidly becoming a high-tech industry, and it takes a different set of skills to be successful than it did even a few years ago. Dairy farms today are using robotic milking machines and sophisticated software to make sure every cow gets the correct set of nutrients in its diet. Row crop farmers are turning to GPS technology to maximize the efficiency of driving over their fields and reduce fuel use. If you have a pesky patch of weeds in the middle of your field, you can even rent a drone to take care of it. These are all examples of what is called precision farming, and the goal is to reduce waste and increase efficiency. Less trips over the field means lower fuel use and greenhouse gas emissions. Today, a glass of milk has 2/3 the carbon footprint than it did in 1944.
I want to thank Barn again for putting that video together and again recognize our agricultural businesses here in Berks County on the National Agricultural Day, which was on this past Tuesday. Also, this last weekend, Saturday to Tuesday, both Commissioner Leinbach and I were at the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania Conference in Harrisburg. Had great opportunities to network with other commissioners, learn from other commissioners and speakers from throughout the state. On Monday, also had the opportunity to hear 2 panels, which were made up of 16 of the Department of State heads. Some of them are the acting, others are the department heads, but they were there. They shared with us what their priorities were and had the opportunity to speak with some of them afterwards. It was great to hear how they talk about, especially in the area of Department of Emergency Services. Brian Godshaw is really well known at the state level for the work that he does here in Berks County and the participation he has at the state level. Also came up Ken LeBron, who is our Director of Veterans Affairs. He is also well spoken of and highly regarded at the state level because of the work he does for veterans here in Berks County. So I want to congratulate them for the work they do here in Berks County, but are recognized at the state level for the work they do for us. This past Tuesday also, we had the opportunity to attend the What's So Cool About Manufacturing Awards, and we were able to give out one of the awards, and it was the Outstanding Videography Award, which went to Governor Mifflin Middle School and by Winco, who was the company that they visited. But this group was between Berks County schools and Schuylkill County Middle Schools. So Berks County took a lot of awards there, and these are going on to the state competitions for What's So Cool About Manufacturing. So the outstanding overall video was the Conrad Weiser Middle School and John F. Martin and Sons LLC. Outstanding creativity was the Kutztown Area Middle School. The company was Easy Pack. The outstanding cool video was Ole Valley Middle School, and the company was Unique Snacks. The outstanding team spirit was Exeter Township Junior High School. The company was Misco Products. The outstanding educational value was Wilson West Middle School, and the company was Cambridge Lee Industries. And the outstanding outreach plan was the Boyertown Middle School West, and the company was R.M. Palmer Company. So a huge thank you to the school districts, to the teacher coaches who participated, and to the companies who opened their doors for the students to go in and learn about manufacturing. Said it once, said it many times, not everyone should go to college. College is for some people. Other people just don't need to go to college, don't want, and that's fine. And this gives the students the opportunity to learn about other options to see what they may like or may not like. One final item is the Berks County Veterans Affairs Department is holding a veteran peer support group, and it's called Forward. And this support group is facilitated by Pam Gockley, who's the executive director of the Camel Project. And it started yesterday, March 22nd at 1:30, and it's held at the Veterans Affairs Conference Room in downtown Reading, and it is held every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. The address is 726 Cherry Street in Reading, and this is for veterans seeking a place to discuss matters of importance with their peers over coffee and snacks. So any veteran is invited to attend. Please help me share this with people that you may know that are veterans. RSVP is not required, so just show up when you can. Go every week if you would like to. Again, that is Wednesdays at 1:30 p.m. at 726 Cherry Street, the Veterans Peer Support Group. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Michael Rivera. Touching on several items, just to mention this, he told you pretty much everything you need to know about the winners for what's so cool about manufacturing. But two value points that I want to make. One, this program began in 2013. Berks County schools were some of the first schools to participate. I forget the number, but I want to say it was like 30 or 40 statewide districts. Today it's 1,100 districts or schools participating across the Commonwealth. And the value of this is so important. If you notice, it's not high school. It's targeting middle school students. I would talk about the context of college a little bit differently. We need to begin to focus young people on career choices. College may be a requirement for a particular career, but careers are what it's all about. This is one area in the manufacturing arena where there are tremendous opportunities. Some of them may require a college degree, some of them a technical degree, some of them an apprenticeship, but these are great opportunities. Here's the second message, and this is where we need, and I talked to several legislators at this event. Careers are where we should be focusing with our young people, but that is not going to fundamentally change until we change the way we measure success of high schools. The measurement of success in Pennsylvania today has two parts. One I agree with, high school graduation. Nothing like a high school diploma. But the second measurement is students that go on to four-year college and graduate with a degree. That should not be the measurement. The measurement should be careers. Who goes on to a career? That's what matters. So that's one message I would encourage anyone that if you believe in the value of careers, whatever that is that a young person chooses, talk to your school, talk to your legislators, talk to the governor's office. We need to change the measurement if we want different outcomes. The CCAP conference was very good this spring. We'll note that at lunch on Monday, Governor Josh Shapiro addressed our members. He talked about a number of issues. One of them that is our top priority for the County Commissioners Association is the reauthorization of 911. 911 funding, which is the fee people pay on a cell phone or any kind of device that can connect them to a 911 center, voice or text, they pay a fee. If the legislature and governor do not come to an agreement by the end of this year, the current funding will sunset and go away. I can tell you that would turn into an instant property tax increase in every single county because we're talking multi-million-dollar impacts. The governor, in his address, has addressed the core concerns that the county commissioners have raised, and that is one, that it's reauthorized before the current law sunsets. Two, that the fee is reasonable and consistent with where it should be, which is north of $2. And 3, that the fee going forward is tied to the cost of living. If we don't do that, this is the 3rd time in 8 years that we are going through a reauthorization. 8 years ago, we did the first one since, I believe, the early 90s. 4 years ago, that was sunsetted. And when it was sunsetting, no one could come to an agreement, so they just reauthorized what they had before. Now we're at the end of a sunset again. So we really need support for what the governor has described. On Monday afternoon, I was able to speak with Representative Mark Gillen. Mark Gillen is critical because he sits on the Veterans Affairs EMS committee. His committee in the House handles 911. I'm glad to report that he indicated to me he supports all 3 of those principles, but it is going to take some effort to get this across the finish line by the end of the year. Also want to note, I'm very excited about the new Acting Secretary of Human Services. The Acting Secretary is former Montgomery County Commissioner Dr. Val Arkush. I know her personally. I cannot tell you how valuable it is to have a county-focused secretary in human services that touches so many areas of county government: mental health and developmental disabilities, the area agency on aging, children and youth services, just to name probably the 3 biggest areas in county government. We not only have, Commissioner Arkush, Dr. Arkush in that role. Effective this past Monday, she hired a brand new liaison to county governments. That individual, my colleagues know, her name is Brenda Penyak. She's been the longtime deputy director of the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania. She's well respected in the association, and I feel confident for the first time in 16 years that we have people in the Department of Human Services that actually understand the role county government plays, so that we will be a partner in these decisions going forward, versus being simply told this is what you're going to do. You don't know what you're doing. We know better in Harrisburg. That's what we've dealt with. And if I'm misrepresenting, Kevin, that's what we've dealt with for almost 16 years. So I can tell you, I talked to a number of other commissioners that have been around, some longer than I have, and we are very, very encouraged by that position. I just want to note, and I'm going to share my screen here. When we talk about the County Commissioners Association, people often ask, so what is important to the Commissioners Association? These are the top priorities for the County Commissioners Association. 911 funding and reauthorization is number 1. County inmates with mental health issues, number 2. A lot of discussion by the governor around the whole mental health issue, not addressing necessarily everything we need, but definitely a move in the right direction. 3rd, county mental health base funding increase. That is important because if you have to go back to 2008 to find the last time there's been a base funding increase in mental health. And in fact, in 2012, there was a 10% cut. The next one is address the needs of children and youth who have complex behavioral health issues. That's tied to mental health, but also children and youth, and very much in the human services area. The next area is broadband access and development. That was also discussed at length. And then finally, promote election integrity. This might read like a political talking point. It is not. This is something that the association has been advocating long before 2020, with a significant list of areas that need to be addressed and have not been addressed by either the legislature or the governor. And since the 2020 election in Act 77, several very specific items related to problems in Act 77 that need to be addressed, need to be clarified. So People ask, why are you involved in the County Commissioners Association? A lot of reasons, but this is one of the big reasons. And these aren't selected by staff. Every fall, we gather together in Hershey, and only members that are present debate and ultimately vote on what the top priorities are. Our platform is a volume. And if you have 1,000 priorities, you have no priorities. You have to pick what are the most important issues. So every fall, we pick what we believe are the critical issues for county government for the following year. This is that list for 2023. With that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. That ends my comments. I don't know if we have any row officers on our call that would like to make any comment before we go to public comment. Sandy Graffius, our controller, go right ahead.
I want to tell you, I stand shoulder to shoulder with you on Sinky being in my background. Our burial vault company was created in 1934, and it's still there. How's
there
that?
You go, King Spring. That's a much longer connection than I have. I wasn't even born. I doubt I was even a thought at that point in time.
Yeah, my father-in-law.
Not to criticize how long you've been around.
No, I must tell you that was my father-in-law. I wasn't here then either.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Any other comments from row officers? Okay. We have one person for public comment, and I want to recognize George Stuck from Spring Township, and his topic is 911. If you'd step up to the microphone, you have 3 minutes.
Okay.
Sure.
No problem. First of all, thank you for having an evening commissioner meeting.
Oh, yeah, flip it over. Go ahead and start over again. Start his clock over again.
Okay. Am I on TV?
You're on TV. You look fine.
First of all, I wanted to thank you guys for having an evening commissioners meeting. It's the first time I've ever been able to be at one. And what you were saying earlier about the career, high school, middle students, as a small business owner in manufacturing, that is critical right now. I know there's some people from the Wilson School Board here that heard me talk about that already at their meetings, So, but yes, we need to make sure young people are going into careers. And then the other thing I didn't realize that you were going to talk about 911 is, when is Berks County going to be like all the other counties, with the exception of one other county in the state, and not put the 911 fees back on the local government? Because I know that gets passed on as a tax increase, at the local government level. I just didn't know if there was any thoughts on that, or.
Well, when we're done with public comment, if anyone wants to comment, and I will comment, we'll do that.
Okay.
Anything else you want to say?
No.
You still got time.
No. It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. No one else in person. That'll end public comment. I will make a comment. I understand the concern. When I took office, I wasn't aware that we were unique. But over time, I found out that we had a different model. A number of years ago, pre-pandemic, and I'm looking over at Kevin, we had a discussion. It's probably about 8 years ago when the last or the first redo of the 911 funding came into place. We started to talk about, okay, what are we going to do going forward? Because up until that point, we were trying to get to the point where operations were being covered by the municipal charge, and we were covering the capital, the building of the system, the maintaining of the towers, which was a big chunk. When that money came in, we decided, okay, instead of this, and some years were 17% increase. I think maybe for a couple of years after the 2008, we did some zeros because of how difficult the revenue side was for everyone. But we ultimately decided to stop the increases completely and leave the fee where it was with the municipality. So here's why. I've had people say, why don't you just stop charging us altogether? And here's the answer. And I've talked to a number of municipalities. Are you prepared, if you're no longer having to pay that fee, to immediately give that back in a tax cut to your residents? Because we will have to raise taxes. It's not fair to double tax people for the same service. And I've had only one municipality say, I think we might be willing to do that. Every other municipality tells me, well, we need that money. And the problem I have, if I raise taxes, and just to put it in perspective, since 2008 till today, inflation's been just about 40% in total. We've raised taxes twice for a total of 10.17% in that entire period. And when we've raised taxes, we've given very specific reasons why that tax was necessary. How do I explain to the public, we're raising your taxes by, and I don't know what it would be, Brian Gottschall, I think, has a pretty good idea, but let's say we raise it by $1 million. And we're raising it because we have to pay the portion of the 911 that had been paid by the municipality. They're still going to be paying the same amount of tax to the municipality, and now they're paying us more. You see what I'm saying? They're getting a double whammy for no increase in service. They're not getting anything additional, nothing new. I just can't do that. I can't support that. I admit that what you have is unlike anyone else. Chester County had something similar, and I think I'm correct. They stopped it temporarily in COVID. I believe it was in COVID, beginning of COVID. And when they went to restart it, municipalities would have none of it. And they're out of it now. But that's the answer. I can't do a double tax.
Am I correct? Does not have one, not to pay into the 911.
They all pay in. Everyone. There's a formula. It has to do, there's factors of police, EMS, response, fire, population, all kinds of factors. And believe me, that's another thing. I went through charts to find a better formula. And I can't tell you how many formulas I looked. And no matter what, when you look at the formula, it seems like somebody benefits, somebody else pays more.
Well, I will speak for Spring Township.
Sure.
If you're willing to stop charging us, we would tax cut. Second.
Yeah, and what we need is everyone to be willing to do it. Otherwise, again, it doesn't work. So if you can get something in place where 71 municipalities say, yep, we're gonna give a tax cut equal to what we're currently paying to the county, I would definitely look at it. No. How many of you were at the municipal dinner? Did you listen to Donnie Swope?
Yeah.
Did you hear him read from the municipal code? Municipal code makes it very clear public safety is the responsibility of the municipality, not the county. Fire, EMS, police. Now, I will be the first one to tell you it isn't that way in the rest of the country. In the rest of the country, this is all done at the county level. But I'm not here to debate the rightness or the wrongness. Pennsylvania, it has nothing to do with Republican or Democrat. Pennsylvania has had this structure of government for a couple hundred years, but it is not consistent. Zoning, subdivision, planning, public safety, all of that is done at the county level. Roads, when I tell people we own one road, it's County Welfare Road, they're stunned. There's just a lot of things different about Pennsylvania government, but I'm serious. If I would suggest reaching out to CELG, Paul Jansen. That's another unique thing that we have in Berks I don't know of any other county in the Commonwealth that has that type of cooperative group. Talk to him. We're part of that. You chair the Berks Municipal Partnership?
No, vice chair of the Community Action.
Advisory Board.
Oh, Community Advisory Board. We're active in that. That's the group that really is there to pull together a voice for our municipalities. Well, Paul and the municipal leaders that lead that organization, we're open to strategizing.
I may add some context to the discussion. Back in 2013, 14, 15 into 16, the county bonded $62 million for the 911 tower system. So it's not as though we're putting all the responsibility onus on the local municipalities. We bonded $62 million. We're paying debt service every year on $62 million. New system. So
was the biggest non-building capital project the county's ever taken on.
It's a 30-year bond.
So, very good. Anything else for the good of the order?
Motion to adjourn.
The meeting is adjourned. Is there